tractor beams, sci-fi becomes microscience. Tractor beams are a staple in Star Wars. Remember when the Death Star pulls in the Millennium Falcon like it's reeling in a fish? It looks magical. But here's a shocker. Real scientists have actually built microscopic tractor beams. Using finely tuned lasers or sound waves, researchers can manipulate tiny particles, pulling, pushing, even rotating them. It's called optical tweezing, or acoustic trapping. The main challenge is scale. We're still nowhere near pulling in massive objects like spaceships. These forces work on microscopic or nanoscopic objects, not full-sized X-Wings. Still, every technology starts small. Mustafar and real volcanic worlds. Darth Vader's fiery lair on Mustafar isn't just the ultimate evil villain backdrop. It's also based on something very real. There's a moon orbiting Jupiter called Io, and it's basically Mustafar is a real planet. Io is the most volcanically active body in the solar system. It has over hundreds of volcanoes, some of which can erupt lava dozens of miles high. Scientists believe tidal forces from Jupiter and other moons stretch and heat its insides, creating non-stop geological chaos. The science of planetary geology is catching up to galactic horrorscapes. Mustafar might be fiction, but lava worlds absolutely exist. Wookiees and the science of giant primates. Chewbacca the Wookiee. He's tall, strong, furry, and fiercely loyal. But could a Wookiee-like species exist on Earth? Let's talk about Gigantopithecus, a real-life extinct primate that lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. Estimates vary, but scientists guess they stood anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall and weighed around 400 to 600 pounds. Today, we have large apes like gorillas and orangutans, but nothing on that scale. So why don't we have towering primates anymore? It's mostly about caloric needs, climate, and evolutionary efficiency. Bigger isn't always better when it comes to survival. But Wookiees reflect a long tradition of imagining intelligent, strong, non-human allies. They might be fantasy, but their inspiration is rooted in ancient Earth. Lightspeed travel and Einstein's time dilation. When Han Solo brags about doing the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, it might sound just like space pilot bravado, but there's hidden science in Star Wars hyperspace. If you travel near the speed of light, Einstein's theory of relativity kicks in. Time slows down for you compared to someone standing still. This is called time dilation. If the Millennium Falcon were somehow approaching light speed, its crew might experience just a few hours, while years pass for everyone else. So, the fastest ship in the galaxy could be outrunning time itself. But here's the kicker. Traveling at light speed requires infinite energy for something with mass. That's why scientists dream of warp drives and wormholes instead, shortcuts through space-time. Still, Star Wars captures the imagination of physicists everywhere. Why Star Wars planets have just one climate. Ever notice something odd in Star Wars? Each planet only has one climate. Tatooine is all desert, Hoth is all ice, Endor is all forest. But in real life, planets like Earth have diverse climates, thanks to axial tilt, ocean currents, elevation, and atmospheric composition. So why does Star Wars keep it simple? Honestly, for storytelling clarity. It is easier to remember a planet if it has a theme. But scientifically, there are some scenarios where single biome planets could exist. Tidally locked planets, for instance, always face one side toward their star, creating a permanent hot side and cold side. Or rogue planets like a real Hoth may be frozen throughout. Still, Earth-like varieties are more likely than Star Wars-style climate monotony. The sound of the Force. Audio engineering brilliance. You can't see the Force, but in Star Wars you can hear it. The low hums, the pulses, the ominous ambience when someone's tapping into the dark side. It's all part of what makes the Force feel real. But how did they design the sound of something invisible? Sound engineers at Lucasfilm mixed reverse human breathing, slow down animal growls, and deep bass rumbles to create an audio signature that feels mystical. This is known as psychoacoustic engineering, using sound to tap into human emotion and perception. The force may not be scientifically measurable, sorry midichlorians, but its sonic presence is a masterclass in using audio to give weight to the unseen. Can the force be measured? Midichlorians versus modern science. In The Phantom Menace, we're introduced to midichlorians, microscopic life forms that allow individuals to connect with the force. While controversial among fans, it raises a fascinating question. Can mystical abilities be tied to biology? In real science, we've discovered that bacteria and microbes in our body, our microbiome, affect mood, decision-making, and even mental clarity. Gut bacteria can influence neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Could an advanced civilization mistake this connection for something more cosmic? Probably not the Force, but the idea of tiny organisms playing a massive role in perception and behavior is kinda real. Midichlorians may be fiction, but the science of microscopic influencers is fact. Kaminoan cloning and CRISPR technology. In Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan visits Kamino, a rainy ocean world where an army of genetically identical clone troopers is being mass-produced. Their creators, the Kaminoans, expert cloners. Sounds like pure sci-fi, right? But Earth scientists are already mastering cloning, starting with Dolly the sheep back in 1996. Today, with CRISPR gene editing, we can precisely modify DNA sequences, turning genes on or off like light switches. We're also exploring induced pluripotent stem cells, which can regenerate damaged organs or grow tissues in labs. And yes, there have been experiments cloning monkeys and mice. Ethically, human cloning is banned or tightly regulated around the world, but the Kaminoans' dream of controlled, scalable replication? That's closer to reality than ever. The biology of Jabba the Hutt. Could it exist? Jabba the Hutt isn't just the galaxy's most repulsive crime lord. He's also a fascinating biological question. How could a creature that massive, with no visible skeleton and so much mass, function in real life? First off, Jabba resembles some Earth animals like slugs or sea cucumbers. Both are invertebrates that move via muscular contractions. But for Jabba to support his size, he'd need extremely dense musculature or possibly internal hydrostatic pressure like an octopus. His metabolic rate must be insanely slow too. Notice how he never seems to move unless absolutely necessary. And if Tatooine's gravity is lower than Earth's, that would make it easier for him to exist without collapsing under his own weight. Still, Jabba would need a heart powerful enough to pump blood through all that blubber. Holograms in Star Wars versus real holographic tech. From Leia's iconic "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi" message to Emperor Palpatine's sinister transmissions. Holograms are everywhere in Star Wars. But could we really project floating, three-dimensional images like that? In real science, we've made major strides in holography. Today's holograms mostly rely on light interference patterns, captured on special surfaces, like those security seals on your credit card. But researchers have gone further. In Japan and MIT, scientists have created volumetric displays and plasma-based 3D projections, images that hover midair and even respond to touch. The catch? Most real holograms require special glasses or precise angles. And projecting one in full daylight like Star Wars does? Still years away. But the tech is racing forward, especially with AR and mixed reality systems. Want to see holograms evolve from sci-fi to real life? Subscribe, and keep your eyes on the light.